Hey guys, I was waiting for some people to come in. I just thought I'd go on. Let's wait a few minutes and let some people jump in here. I got something I want to tell you. It's no big deal. Then we can just shoot the bull. Wow. Okay. I did a live I did a live stream, I don't know, about a month ago. It was pretty fun. I didn't know what I was doing, but I got it done. Going to try to learn this OBS software. There's a couple of people that I've conversed with through emails, and they've sent me some different things that I want to get on here and let them tell you their story themselves. And I don't know how popular that would be, but so I thought I would just try this live on the YouTube app and just see how it went. I can't keep up with all these comments. Hey, everybody. Let me go back. I know I look like a total idiot doing this. People that do this are so good at it. And I'm like, I think the last time I couldn't even figure out how to turn it off. Okay, we got 140 people in here. That's pretty crazy. Thunderbolt, hold on to your weave. You got to hold on to that weave. You know, when one blows off, it's called a tumbleweave. You guys are so funny. All right, I'm just sitting here staring at the camera. Okay, 161 people. Let me get started. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I put out a video and I said that I was going to start uploading, the really short stories that are 2 or 3 paragraphs on Facebook and Instagram. And I did that. And these stories they're really short. They're maybe 5 or 10 sentences, but they're all really good. They all have great information, and they're for the most part they're kind of exciting. But anyway, I did that. I put 6 or 8 videos up on Facebook, and here's my conclusion. I hate it. I hate it. I don't like it at all. I don't like the interface that Facebook uses. I can't get any feedback on what's going on. I don't like there's just so many things. I don't want to rag on Facebook. That's not the point here. So what I'm going to be doing in the next 2 or 3 videos, I'm just going to start dropping those stories in the middle, and they'll sound a little different. I was trying to experiment and do something different. I like doing different things. I like what I do on YouTube, and I'm going to keep that going. And I love YouTube, but I like to try to do different things and see if I can do things a different way and make it maybe not better, and not even for the sake of doing it different, but just to do something different for me, because sometimes it feels like I go through the same regimen over and over and over, and it doesn't get boring, but I like to just kind of do things different. I was out back here in the woods yesterday, right at dusk, and I was trying to take some videos of some really pretty shots and stuff like that. And I got a few. I want to run my own B-roll, and instead of buying a lot of this footage, which about half of the stuff the video that I roll is my stuff, the dogs and the chickens and walks through the woods. And, but I just like getting pretty little shots of nature, with my camera. And I've got a great camera, and it takes an unbelievable image. But so back on Facebook, I just didn't like it. And I was talking to my wife, and I was telling her about it. And after about a week of it, she goes, "Are you not excited about this?" And I said, "I'm not. I'm just not just not excited about it. And she goes, well, just keep doing it. You know, maybe it'll kick in and all that kind of stuff. But as much as I tried to like it, the more I didn't like it. And so I'm going to quit doing it. I'm going to bring all those videos over to YouTube. So if we ever do anything different, I'm going to really think it through. I just do things on the spur of the moment. My mother always says, you never think anything through. You are always the first to walk up to a cliff and just jump off in the water. And I am kind of that way, but there's no harm in trying a Facebook thing and all that stuff. So that's what I did, but don't like it. So if you don't have a Facebook account, and I don't blame you if you do, I do. Facebook is one of those places you want to just put up stupid memes and, you know, have a video running where a guy gets kicked in the head by a horse, or those are the kind of videos that do well on Facebook. But the videos like I do, they just don't. My average view duration time for the videos were 5 or 6 minutes long. Maybe I had one 7 or 8 minutes, and the average view duration was 20 seconds. I mean, oh, it hurt my feelings. So I got off of that, and yeah, I'll still put maybe a video or two up every once in a while, but it won't be stories. It won't be the kind of content I do on YouTube. So there's that. I haven't even looked at these comments. Is anybody pissed off about that? Is anybody happy about that? Or why would you even care, I guess? Let me read some comments. There's been a bunch and I've missed tons of them. Mary Max, that's right. Facebook is great for cat videos and memes. And that's what I'm going to use. My phone's going off. Make sure it's not my wife. She's out of town. Boy, isn't that ugly? Picking up the phone while I'm on live. I'm going to put it on silent. So what I'm going to do is I find a lot of articles and website pieces and stuff that have to do with cryptids, and I'm just going to use my Facebook page to share those links and just give you something to read, give you the people that are on Facebook that are following my page. And that's really what I'm going to use that for. And a lot of times I just put stupid, just silly stuff on there. So, yeah, I forgot where I was going with that. Let me see if I can catch a comment here. Hey, by the way, this is something I wanted to tell you all. Don't drop money in this thing. The last time I went live, I think there was a total of like 50, almost $60 that people were just throwing at me. Why do y'all do that? It's not, don't do that. But YouTube keeps almost half of it. So don't pay YouTube and don't pay me to do something that's free. You get to watch this, and I can't believe that you do want to watch this, but you get to watch this for nothing, and just keep it that way. Just keep it that way. And that leads into the next thing I was going to say is that if I'm able to branch out and do something different, then I'm going to make sure it's totally free. I'm not doing the Patreon thing. I've looked at it. I don't want people to pay for this stuff. And so anyway, there's all that. I'm just reading through comments here. Becky, I'm so glad people like the channel, but I don't need the money. Don't donate. I don't like it. It makes me feel uncomfortable. But thank you for saying that. Vic Cundiff, I've listened to some of his stuff. He's awesome. You know, yesterday I put out that UFO video, and I know those aren't popular on my channel. They get about a quarter of the views that uh, other videos get, but I don't care. I love doing them. Well, every time I do a UFO video, I get 20 UFO stories, and I wonder if a whole nother channel just for things other than Bigfoot and Dogman would be a place to put those. And because there's some people who are just interested in the UFO stuff. That stuff fascinates me. It just blows me away. And I've said this before, but there's 1,000 times. Hey, Mark. Mark Burchett, he's my buddy. Um, what was I saying? Squirrel. I forgot what I was saying. Somebody remind me what I was saying. Is Buckeye Bigfoot in here? Nance? I didn't see it if she was in here. I love her channel. I love to listen. I sent her an email uh, early this week, I think, and I said, I've been listening to your stuff and taking notes because I'm horrible at this. And she is so good at her narrations. And she has her, hey, Mark. Hey, Mark, Sawdust Beast. She is so, there she is. There she is. She is so refined in her presentation, and it's so professional and it's good. And Nance, by the way, I know where you told me where you live. I lived in Lexington for about 10 years. We were up that way quite a bit. And so I'm not real familiar with your area, but kind of sort of. But yeah, I love her channel, and she's got her Sauce Squad community going on, and it's so cool. It's just great. Sawdust Beast, love those guys. Man, there's so many good YouTube channels. American Cryptids, he's doing great. Bigfoot Case Files, that woman, she's got a great voice too. She just does a great job. Matt Knapp at Cryptid Tales. I'm trying to think of all of them that I listen to. Bigfoot's Wilderness, Mike Singleton does an awesome job. And sometimes when I'm going into, if I ever get some time off to do videos, I'm reluctant to go over there because I don't want to get influenced or scared, because sometimes when I listen to these other people do it, I'm like, oh God, I sound like crap. I'm horrible at this. But it's kind of that deal with me where, you just have to overcome your insecurities and your fears and just dive in and do it and just let the loose ends drag. And that's kind of what I do. I don't, I'm not real refined and all that stuff, but I just let the loose ends drag. Hey, one other thing I wanted to say, there is a few people who are new to the channel. I get all those stats. I just don't look at them real close, but there's a few people new to the channel. And if you're watching this, I want you to know, and I haven't said this in a while. I'm kind of ashamed I haven't, but I want you to know that you have found your people. You have arrived. You are in the right place. If you love Bigfoot, Dogman, UFO, ghost, there's no limit to the stuff that we talk about. And there's no limit to the emails I get. I get all kind of topics in my emails. You have found your people, and what you're going to find is that this community is the nicest bunch of people you will ever meet. I'm not kidding. Just read through the comments. There's a turd in every group, anywhere you go. But 999 out of 1,000 people that watch this channel and comment are the nicest people in the world. And we're not a community, because what I figured out is, I do get stats on how old the audience is and how that's based, men or women. I think it's about 65% men, 35% women. Most of the people that watch this channel are between 40 and 60, blah, blah, blah. But we're not a community. What we are is a group of people that are probably so vastly different across the spectrum. I mean, from one end to the other. You might have people that are professionals on one end who like this stuff, and you might have people that are just blue collar people like me. And I'm a trailer park dude. You mess with me, you messing with the whole trailer park. But I'm just as common and as they come. But what we all have in common, there's this little thing that intrigues us about these topics that nobody can explain. And make no mistake, nobody can explain it. There are no verified pictures. There are no bodies. There's nothing we can show to scientifically prove some of the creatures that we see. And the best evidence, in my view, are the encounter stories. That's my opinion. And I think that's an objective opinion. Well, that's a contrast in words. I think that's my objective thought on that. And so, because there's just no other evidence that's really solid, and science can't see it happen over and over and over again to predict, to say it's real and recognize these cryptids. So, but what you'll find is all of these people that kind of have gathered together around me and all the other channels I just talked about, we just have this little thing about us that we just love these stories. And it's different than just reading an account on some website or whatever. It's different in that the people that send these encounters to us write so well. And so to me, it's awesome if they add a little background where they, how all these events led up to this event. And it's like the other day, I put that story out about the little girl who was in New Jersey in the Pine Barrens, and she was dating the roughneck dude, and they had this big ordeal in the woods, and then the ending of that was so cool. So what I love about it is the story aspect to it, and it makes it all human. It makes it to where at least for me, I can identify with those things. And so again, the best evidence to me is the encounter stories. So there's that. Let me find. And so welcome everybody, and thanks to everybody who's been watching from the beginning. I just think that's crazy. I remember I've said this before, but I told my wife if I could ever get to 1,000 subscribers, I would be so happy. And if I could get up to 300 views per video, I would be happy. And if it ever drops to that, and it might, these things don't last forever, I'll still do this because I have so much fun doing it. So let me read some comments here. I'm sorry I'm missing so many. Thank you all for throwing comments up. Hey, does anybody have any questions? I've pretty much said everything I want to say. Been on for 20 minutes. I was trying to figure out a way to actually put that in a video, but I didn't want to waste time on that. Some of y'all have been saying you like my stupid commentary after these stories. You know what I do? I just start talking, and whatever pops in my head, I say it. I edit out all the gaps while I'm thinking. But hey, here's someone gave me some advice the last time I did a live. If you have a question put it in all caps. Tell us a story live. I don't have any ready. Hey, I've got one. I've got one that I'll just tell you. And I was going to write something around it, but I'll just tell you right now. I used to work for a big steel company in Arkansas, and um, so we had I worked out in the shop, and there was a bunch of us. We'd show up at 6:30 in the morning. We usually our day was 6:30 or 7 to 4 maybe, and it's a hard job. We were welding and fitting and all that stuff, and so we had a bunch of guys that were from Mexico that worked with us, and we all loved each other. We all had a great time. And but this particular guy, he was of Mexican descent, but he wasn't from Mexico. He was from the United States. But this was back in the 90s, and every people sometimes he would get pulled over by the police, and the police would want to see his green card or something like that, and he would say, "Oh man, let me see your green card. Let me. You want to see my green? Let me see your green card." And he said, "I'm a citizen." But he was so funny that way. So we're all sitting in the break room about 6 o'clock in the morning. It's a cold morning, and he drives in, and his eyes are big as golf balls. He's like, "Yeah, man, you guys aren't going to believe what I saw." And so we're all perked up and we're listening. And he goes, he said, "I was driving into work today, and I was coming down this certain highway, and you know that pecan grove on the left-hand side of the road? There was a Bigfoot standing there. He was just leaning against the pecan tree." We all busted out laughing like he was crazy, like people do you if you've seen something like that. And we just laughed and laughed at him. And that joke went on for another 5 years. And I remember one of my sons was working there too, and he heard him say it. And still today, I'll be around one of my sons, and he'll go, "What are you doing?" "I don't know, man. I was coming to work today, and I saw Bigfoot. He was leaning against a pecan tree, man." And so anyway, there's the only story I can think of right now. Let's see. Anybody got a question? Oh, hey, Ayla Moon, is that Ayla? Did I pronounce that right? From Australia. I've got a video coming up in the next 2 or 3 weeks. It may be an hour long, but I've got a letter uh, from a really great guy in Australia. He's actually a writer, and he's got several encounters. And the way he's written this, it's when I print a story out, it's probably 300 words, 250 words per page with the font size that I printed out. It's like 35 or 40 pages long. And sometimes when I get those, I'm like, it's too long for a video. But I read through this, and I needed to get to work. I started reading it in the morning, and it took me about an hour to read it silently, because it just locked me in. I just kept having to turn the pages and turn the pages. He's a great writer. His name is Bretto, and he lives in Australia, and I'm going to get his story up. So I don't know how you guys feel about really long videos, but that's probably going to be my first really long video with one story. I'm real excited to do it. Tombstone, Australia represented. Looking for a question. Am I aware of the YouTube rules effect after December? I think you're talking about these rules about the videos for kids. And I've had 2 or 3 people email me saying, better watch it. They may knock your channel off the air. And first, I don't know why they would do that to my channel. YouTube is a good company. A lot of people rag on YouTube, but at what other time in history could somebody like me, for example, or some of the other people that we know and that we watch, make a video and within 30 minutes upload it, and anyone in the world can watch it? The technology that we're so blessed to have in my lifetime, even though I'm a little older, I'm taking advantage of all of it because it's so great. I think YouTube is a wonderful format, and what they're trying to do is abide by the law. The law, and I haven't read it, but from what I understand, there's a law that um, about protecting the identity of children and stuff like that. And I think what they're looking for are videos that have children in them and are made for children because um, and YouTube's had problems with freaks making these lewd comments on uh, those videos, and it's really sad. It's horrible. I don't even know what to think about all that, but I started hearing about that probably a year ago. I even put a video up of a water slide on my personal channel, Cameron Buckner channel, and the video has my granddaughters and nieces and their friends, and they're 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, running around in swimsuits just like little girls do on a water slide or when they go to the pool. And YouTube just arbitrarily uh, disable the comments on it. I didn't do that. YouTube did it. And I'm fine with that. I don't have any problem with that at all. I feel like they're looking out for the kids, and I don't think that's a bad thing. But back to the December thing, if they shut my channel down, there's nothing I can do about it. And so we'll just go to a podcast or something like that. I'm going to keep doing this. There's other places to do it, but I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're zeroing in on videos with kids in them and videos that are made for children. And there's a little toggle on my in my advanced settings where you have to click and say whether your video is made for kids or it's not made for kids, and then you can do that with each individual video. But I clicked it for the whole channel because these videos, little narration videos that I do, are not necessarily made for kids. I think kids with their parents watch these videos, and that's why we keep it clean. And I'm not prone to necessarily keep things clean, by the way. I'm not lily white at all in that area. But when I found out that kids were following along and listening, uh, grandkids and people were listening to this at their dinner table, um, I wouldn't want to sit there and click my phone while my family was eating and hear a bunch of cuss words. So I don't do it. I even go as far as if the oh, somebody gave some money. Eagles Wing SEC. Thank you. I'm going to say this. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. But please, y'all don't do that. YouTube takes almost half of it. It's just crazy to do that. But see, where was I? Oh man, I lose track so quick. Anyway, on the kids, I just don't think it's going to be an issue. Okay, I'll probably talk enough about that. Let's see. Do you have any stories where Sasquatch speaks to a person through telepathy? I'm trying to think. I don't think so. I got an email today. I usually don't read emails right when they come in. This one popped up, and I happened to be looking at my account, and he says he talks to them, and he's teaching them to talk. I don't know. I don't know when I'll get to that story either. Hey, Miles, be patient, buddy. I'll get to it, man. I'm going to get to it. I counted yesterday, and the number, I I think the last time I went live, I said something like 700, 700, I had 700 stories. That's not, I didn't have that many. I had that many emails. But last weekend I went through and I called out all the emails that had, that were just to me or were spam or whatever. And I've got a realistic number of 479 encounter stories to do. And plus Facebook, which is probably about 40 or 50 that I've gotten through Facebook Messenger. But Lord willing, I'm going to get to every one of them. I'll get to every one of them. It's just going to take time. Will you please save the story should they take them down? I'm not sure what that means. Anybody got a question? Put it in caps. Snoopy Sales, do you ever get any Dogman, Bigfoot fighting each other's stories? No, I haven't. I haven't gotten any of those yet, but I heard, I think it was Dark Waters told one of those. It was great. It was a great, that he tells good stories on that channel. Okay, here's a question. What's the email to send story to? It's in the description. It's under the video, in every video. dixiecryptid@gmail.com. When am I live? Usually, hardly ever. I've been doing this a year, and this is my second live. This is my second live, and I just do it on a whim. I don't announce it or put in. I just jump on here and do it because it's going to be recorded, and I'm going to post it as a regular video anyway. So, let's see. I sent you a story a while back, but I think it's probably too weird for you. I don't know what story that is. But none of them are really too weird. I think there's only been one that I kicked out because it was pretty crazy, but it wasn't suitable for families. And I have a few that are. Someone sent me a message. I think it was last week, and they said that their son had written an encounter, and it was really good, but the punctuation and some of the grammar was bad. And I told her, she said it may take me a week to get to it and get it edited. It doesn't have to be perfect, but sometimes I get stories through my email, and they're like, it'll be one sentence, 2,000 words long. I don't know why people don't use periods and commas. That's available on your phone. I mean, when you get to the end of a sentence, put a period, capitalize the next letter, and say the next sentence. But some people send them and there's no punctuation at all, and I can't read those. And I will do them when I have time, but it takes forever to go through and try to figure out where the sentence ends and commas. And because I read, when I throw it up on the screen and read it, I mean, I use those commas and periods. I use them. They're useful. They really are. Question marks, those are good. Exclamation points, they're good. Do I like Bigfoot or Dogman stories better? Oh, I like them all. I like them all. Anything weird, I love it. Am I near Taylor, Mississippi? I'm trying to think of where that is. I'm up here between Corinth and Tupelo, New Albany, kind of in that triangle. Let's see, are they doing their, I don't know what that meant. Let's see. Mothman, I haven't got any Mothman. I don't have any Mothman stories. Can we see your puppies? They're inside. You know what I'm going to start doing? That brings me to what I started this week. I've got a camera set up. Well, it's my little camera that I use. It's a little Canon or a Fuji A7. I set it up on a tripod here, and I've been filming how many times I let these dogs in and out every day. And I'm going to come up with little projects to do to tack on to the end of videos. And there probably won't be me talking. I don't, believe it or not, I don't like being in front of a camera, even though I'm here now. But, you know, just do little 3 or 4 minute visual parts of a video, little projects. You know, another thing I love to do, I love photography. And when I have time, I like to really take one of my projects every winter is mushrooms. I love taking pictures of all the mushrooms that grow in our pine, um, you know, in our pine groves around here. We get the craziest looking, most beautiful mushrooms. And last year I was just doing it with my cell phone and posting stuff on Instagram. But this year I'm going to use try to get some really good pictures. And, you know, photographers like projects. Some people like to photograph trains or bridges or whatever. This winter is going to be mushrooms, and I'll show those in a video at the end. Taylor's just south of Oxford, so no, I'm not. Oxford's about, I think, about an hour south of me. Okay, I'm looking for questions in caps. Blue Line Bigfoot approves this message. Ooh. Would I like to have my own encounter? Yeah. Yeah, as long as it's peaceful. Do I have a favorite historical Bigfoot encounter? I can't point to one in particular. I was reading some stuff that Davy Crockett, no, Daniel Boone, I get the D's mixed up, uh, had supposedly written about, but I haven't read his actual writings, but I read about that. Teddy Roosevelt. I read a lot about the white hunters in Africa. Uh, what are my dogs' names? My lab, my old man lab, his name is Chunk. The brown brindle dog, she's old too. Her name is Roxy. And the little black dog is a dog that wandered up here that was starving. I mean, she was starving. And she just wandered up one day and we started feeding her. We got her fixed up and she just stuck around and she's the best dog ever. Her name is Betsy. And the little hairless dog, his name is Hank. We call him Hanky Panky. And my wife is at my daughter's house this weekend. That's why I'm able to go live. And she has 2 little pugs and they just had a litter. And I have a feeling we're going to get one of those little pugs, which will give us 5 dogs. And good Lord, we don't need 5 dogs. But I think we're going to have 5 dogs. And she's fine with that because guess who's the dogs are with all day? Me. And you would think our house is just nasty with dogs and smells like dogs. My wife is like Mrs. Clean. You know, Mr. Clean. It's like she's Mr. Clean's daughter. I mean, she should shave her head and put a gold earring in her ear. Do you think Bigfoot follows certain families? I don't know, but what I do think is that, hey, Miles, I'm not deleting your comment. What I do think is, and the stories back this up, that Bigfoot will, if there's a pack or what if some people call them a troop of Bigfoot, they get used to who's there and they usually just leave them alone and they show themselves every once in a while. And the people get used to them. I've had already narrated several stories. The one story where the Bigfoot was taking eggs and they had put a rat trap in there just to figure out what was going on. They wound up exchanging like the Bigfoot would leave a dead rabbit or something in the hen laying box, and um, stuff like that. So I think based on the accounts, they get used to people, and when somebody different is there, I think they behave a little different. Send me a pug to Rhode Island. Have you thought about going looking for Sasquatch yourself, even just for fun? Yeah, but I'm not going to ever lie to y'all. It just doesn't appeal to me. I've been with some guys that are heavy hitter, heavy hitter Bigfoot trackers, and uh, I'm lazy. I'm just lazy. I'd rather go ride my bike or something, you know. Yeah, some people have many counters and others never do. Yeah, hit the like button. I always forget to say that. I said in a video, maybe 2 or 3 videos back, that I don't ask people to subscribe because I mean I know how to do that, so I figure you do. But some of the data that we get is people that comment. You can tell if they're subscribed or not. And there's some people that comment on every video and they're not even subscribed. And I didn't know why. I didn't know why. It's not that I want another subscriber. I'm like, oh, if you subscribe and click the bell, supposedly you're supposed to get notifications. And I get notifications on a lot of videos that I subscribe to. Mary Mathis. Oh, I have to show y'all something. The other day I went to my post office box and there was a box in there, and I don't check my post office box. Maybe I don't usually get anything in there, so I don't. It's kind of a waste of time to go. But I was at the post office and I just thought I would go ahead and check it, and there was a notice in there that I had a package, and I got this package and I opened it up and I just couldn't believe what Mary Mathis, she's commented on here a couple of times, what she sent me. And I hope you all can see this. She took a screenshot of one of the videos that I think I had chickens wandering around. And I know I know which chickens those are. There's Rudy, my rooster. He's a big red lace Wyandotte. There's an old round bale that I've got back there to throw on my blackberries next year. And do y'all see right here peeking around the tree? Can y'all see what that is? It's kind of blurry. Bigfoots are blurry, but it's a Bigfoot peeking around a tree. And I just love her for sending this. It is just so nice. And she sent this really nice note. And it's just so nice. And my wife had this hanging in our hall in the house, and I took it down and brought it out here, and then forgot to show it to y'all. And then when I saw her comment, isn't that great? She is so talented. I don't know if it's focused or not. Man, what a nice gift. She's very talented, and it's done with pencils. It's not painted. It's done with pencils. So, isn't that nice? All right, let's see here. Blue Line Bigfoot approves this message. Hey, Blue Line, are you guys drinking? Are you craft beer guys, or are you guys like production beer drinkers? Just curious. Chantel, Chantel, my P.O. box is, if you go to the about section of my um, YouTube page, it's right there. It's I can't even remember what it is right now. Chantel's so nice. She's always sweet in the comments. Beast of the Woods, Larry Porch. Y'all go check out Beast of the Woods, Larry Porch's channel. He's got some really cool videos up. I'm getting a lot of comments that says hide or show. I don't know what that means. I'm showing them all unless somebody's cussing. Have I received any stories from Native Americans or Aborigines? Yes, I've actually narrated a couple from Native people here in the United States and Canada. Blue Line Bigfoot, we like it all. Payday is craft time. Work week. Work week is Pabst Blue Ribbon, PBR. Those guys crack me up. Adam and Jake, they're just awesome. You know what I love about Blue Line Bigfoot? Those guys just don't take themselves so seriously. Some of these Bigfoot people, they're just so serious about everything. And those guys are just fun and funny and fun to watch. And they're just guys you would just want to hang around and pop some tops with. Cam, are you still going to Florida with Carrie and the guys? I'm planning on it. I told Carrie that it all hinges around my work. I'm not going to be in front of the camera. I'm going to be behind, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to help Carrie. I'm not going to hunt for Bigfoot. I'm going just to hang around the people. You know, that's what got me interested in this whole Bigfoot phenomenon is the people. It's not Bigfoot. It's the people. I mean, look at the stories that we get. You get to hear a little piece of the life of a huge number of some of the most interesting, colorful people that you'll ever meet, and it's just fun, and that's why I'm going on that trip. But while I'm there, I might as well do something, right? So I told Carrie, I said, I'll bring my camera, my drone, and all that stuff, and I'll try to get if he's going to do a documentary, my thought is he's going to need, and I'm not that great of a photographer or videographer, but he's going to need like B-roll and cinematic footage and stuff. But I think he has a camera he wants me to carry, and I'm fine with that. I don't care, but I'll just be at his disposal for a week, and I'd love to do it. So yeah, I'm planning on going, and it should be a lot of fun. Dark Waters is live now. Y'all just stay here. We're going to be on 10 more minutes. Y'all can go over there in a minute. Looking for questions. Okay, Dixie, do you consider ghosts, shadow people, and the like cryptids, paranormal, or both? You know, I hate to sound stupid, but I don't know what shadow people are. I know what ghosts are, and cryptids are, Bigfoot, Dogman, Loch Ness Monster. But I'm guessing ghosts and shadow people are probably spiritual thingamabobs, which would tend to make me put them in the paranormal category. But I don't know. I'm no expert. Chantel says you're a lover of people. I do love people. Wood Booger, the lion story is still my favorite. Harry Wallater, back one of my very first videos was about Harry Wallater. It's not a Bigfoot or cryptid story. It's about a man who lived in South Africa, and he was a ranger in what was soon to be the Kruger National Park. And he's the only guy I've ever read about who was attacked by a lion, and he killed it. He killed the lion with a knife. That's a stud right there. And he's hard to find information on, but I told his story. So if y'all are interested in that, and I might do some more of those. There are so many great stories that come out of Africa around the end of the 18th, or around the turn of the 19th and 20th centuries. The early 1900s was the heyday of the big unregulated African safari, and it was a big money thing. It was real expensive to do, and a guy like me couldn't do it. A guy like me couldn't do it now. I couldn't go to Africa, to kill one of those big, beautiful deer, antelope things they have over there. I wouldn't kill an elephant. I couldn't do it. Or a giraffe. I'm not against people that do. I just couldn't do it. But there's so many awesome characters through that era, and the stories are unbelievable. And I would love to do little 20 to 30-minute bios on those people. I could name off a couple like Bill Judd, Paul Rainey, who his place here in Mississippi was just, I think it's about 6 miles from where I live, his big mansion. And they would hunt lions with dogs on horses. Yeah, it's like these guys were just asking for it. And so many of them got attacked by lions and survived, and a lot of them didn't. And they were just super ultra wealthy adventure seekers is what they were. And I would love to do more stories on those, and I might do that. Hi from Scotland. Let's see. Obsessed 2597 says, do you have any close friends that have had encounters? A couple. I sure do. And I have some acquaintances. I wouldn't call them close friends. I mean, I would be close friends with them if they live close to me, but I'm good acquaintances with them. Yeah, so I know some people that have, and I've heard their stories, and I don't write their stories. Those are their stories, and I'll let them tell them to whoever they want to tell them, and I don't take advantage of that. Eric Tipton is one. Kane Michael. Mark and Larry have had close encounters. I don't think they've had full visuals yet, but just being in proximity, those guys go hammock camping in the woods, and they try to get close to the big feet. They're crazy. All right. Could you do See, somebody says they emailed their story months ago and it never got narrated. Look, I'm still pulling stories up from March last spring. Every once in a while, I'll skim through and I'll pick one that I may have gotten in August or September, and then I'll go back to, I don't have really a system of how I do it. It's just if it catches my eye and I can do it quickly, a lot of days I'll pick those. But you say you sent it under an anonymous email. I'm not sure what that means, but if it's in my inbox, it's going to get done. Like the story I did from New Jersey, the roughneck bad boy, the girl that married the guy that was a bad boy. That story was sent to me last February, and I think I caught her off guard when it came on. It came on the air. She was Audrey is her name, and she was real happy to see it. Haggis. I'm trying to click all these shows. I don't know why. I don't know why they kind of flag some of these. We're at 56 minutes. I'm going to get off. Lady in Kentucky's asking about the documentary. Okay, here's the deal. I've got it about 50% done. I didn't think when we came off that trip that I was going to get hammered with work like I did. And we went in February, and in March, I got loaded up with work. And what I was doing was I was spending 30 minutes at a time doing edits and trying to cut and clip and get the interviews right, get my narration right. And I hit a spot last August where I thought, I need to start this and finish it all the way through because I can't concentrate on it. I'm a man. I can't multitask. And I can only pay attention to one thing at a time. And so, but I think I'm going to run out of work in about right after Thanksgiving. And I know it sounds crazy to say this, but man, I need a break from my regular job. I need some time off. And I'm just hoping I can finish this project that I'm working on, and maybe after 2 weeks, somebody will not call me and say, hey, we got something else for you to do. But I'm so thankful for the work that I have a job. Believe me, I'm so thankful for it. And I'm very thankful for this economy. But I'm ready for a break and to do some of the things I love. I love what I do. Don't get me wrong, but I love doing this thing right here. And I would love to just jump off in it and hang with it for 2 weeks. So when I get that break, and it's coming, I'm going to finish that. We were going to try to sell it to Netflix or somebody like that. And I may send it out and see what kind of, because it's really good. It's really good. And I know the guys that were on the trip are probably frustrated with me. I haven't talked to them in 2 or 3 months. I hadn't had a reason to talk to them. I know they're frustrated with me, but I don't know how to say it other than I just can't get to it. And I didn't plan on that. That's just the way it worked out. Who are your inspirations? Oh, wow. Well, as far as I'm not sure exactly. I mean, you get inspired by certain people on certain things, but some real good writers inspire me. Pat Conroy. Y'all know who Pat Conroy is? He wrote the book, The Prince of Tides. He's from South Carolina. He wrote 7 or 8 awesome novels. He wrote The Great Santini. I'm trying to think of the names of his other, but The Water is Wide. The Prince of Tides, if you saw the movie, you would think, I don't want to read that book. They just destroyed that story. They made it a love story in the movie with Nick Nolte and Barbara Streisand. I've never been so disappointed to see a movie in my life after reading that book. The book, The Prince of Tides, is still my favorite book of all time. It's one. It's that thick, and it took me like 2 days to read it over a Christmas holiday. He is the most wonderful writer. Uh, I just love his writing, and but that book, the novel, is an action adventure drama. It's not a love story. It's hard. You if you read it from cover to cover, you would walk away. Uh, it's like the book just shoots through you. It's just so good, and all of his other books are good. Um, I like Pat Conroy. I like Pharoah Sams, Willie Morris. Some of the more contemporary authors who inspire me. I don't like Stephen King. Um, anyway, there's a few people I read now. You know, something else I read I read a lot of biographies when I have time. So I'll read two serious books, biographies, and I just finished last month. I finished a book on George Custer. It's really good. That guy was a jerk. Do you think George Custer was a hero? He's a horrible, horrible guy. He was horrible to his men. He was an egomaniac. He was just a bad guy. Um, and those biographies are by different authors. So I don't really have a. But then I'll read a fun book, and the fun books I like lately are just little cheap zombie novels. They'll be 30 or 40,000 words, and they're just like you just kind of numb out and just read the book. Post-apocalyptic, what do they call it? Dystopian type stuff. And my wife reads a book every 2 or 3 days, and she likes the crime novels, and there's thousands of those, and you can get them for 99 cents on Amazon all day long for electronically. And she's a she's a prolific reader. I don't know if anybody said anything nasty on this. I just can't keep up with it. Steph asked, "Do I watch The Walking Dead?" I did until they killed Glenn, and then I quit watching it. I think they lost half of their audience on that episode, and I've kind of wanted to go back and catch up from that episode. But yeah, I watched it, and when they killed Glenn, I was just, what? Why are they showing this? It doesn't add to the story. It was one of in my opinion, it was the dumbest move they could have made. But I think the producers thought they could just do anything on that show and everybody would love it. But I think after they killed Glenn, I think that show nosedived. Let's see. I'm trying to catch as many questions as I can. Big Boy King, that lost time thing is interesting. I got an email today. I told you when I do a UFO video, I'll get several UFO encounters in. I got one today that just blew my mind. It just blew my mind. It's about a band down in Florida, and they all. It's going to be in a video soon. Hey, do y'all think just a separate channel for UFO stuff and would do better? I mean, do the UFO things really hack people off? All right, looking for another. Okay, we're like an hour and 5 minutes. I'm enjoying this. How y'all like my little blue light back there? Isn't that cool? UFOs rule. UFO stuff is cool. I don't like the UFO stuff. There's no way to keep everybody happy. There's a real popular guy. There's There's a real popular guy on YouTube, and some of y'all probably know who he is and don't. But his name is uh, his name is Casey Neistat. He's like a millennial. He's older, but the millennial kids love him. They love his channel, and he really is a good filmmaker. I don't watch him, but I catch a video of his every couple of months. He did a video uh, probably a year and a half ago, and he talked about uh, creating and putting videos out on YouTube. And he said, and sometimes people say things and you just remember them, but he said, YouTube is a sport. And he's right. YouTube is a sport, and everybody is invited. Everybody. If you have a cell phone camera and an internet connection, you can join in on the YouTube experience. Several people have emailed me and said, "Hey, how do I get into this narration thing?" Uh, just last week, I had somebody wanting to know the equipment and things like that to use, and I encourage people to do it. I think there's plenty of room for this. I wouldn't copy anybody's style. I wouldn't do that because people see through that. But just be yourself. Just be who you are and put content out that you think people would like to watch. And the things that people like to watch are normally things that you have a passion for. So if you love stories about I don't know, sailors, roosters, tell stories about sailors and roosters. And if you have a passion for it, people pick up on that and they begin to enjoy it. Now, I mean, it does take a little bit of thought, think it through on the front end, but you can record stories with the video on your phone, walking through the woods, and instantly upload it to YouTube, and you've got a YouTube channel. So I know it gets a little more complicated than that, but it's really fundamentally, it's really pretty easy. And so I encourage people to do that. But there's no way to gnats. She wants a channel talking about roosters. Do it. Go for it. he's Rick Woodbugger Farm. Rick, um, my rooster's a real nice rooster, but he's got spurs that long. He's got. I bet his spurs are 2 inches long, but he's a nice rooster. He doesn't get after anybody. He loves his hens. What's funny is I'll throw scratch out for them in the morning. They've got high protein layer feed, in their coop, but I toss them a little half a bucket of scratch just to give them something to scratch at, because chickens love to forage. They just love it. And he goes over and he'll scratch, and then he'll back up and let his hens come in and eat that stuff. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Rick says his rooster's a butthole. I've seen some mean roosters. I have. Okay, we're an hour and 10 minutes. I know I'm probably getting boring on this, but let's see. Coco says one channel. Yeah, my passion is not necessarily for Bigfoot or Dogman or UFOs. My passion is the story. I love the stories. And I don't know why, but I think because it just gives me a peek into that person's life, and you get to see how they see things. And you can tell by the way they write a lot of times what kind of person they are. And so it's my thing is the stories. I'd love to read Tom Sawyer on this channel for kids, or some of the old Tom Swift novels, or it's kind of pulp, they're little pulp novels, but stuff I used to read when I was a kid. I'd love to narrate that for a kid and get them interested in, hey, I want to go find some more books like that, and they read them. I would love to. There's tons of stuff I'd love to narrate because it's just reading is so fun. It's just fun for me. Talk about take you away. Reading will do that. All right, I'm gonna answer one more question, and I'm gonna get the heck out of here. I could probably go back and find one I missed. Let's see. Cameron says, "Do you have a favorite?" Cameron, do people call you Cam? I don't know why people call us that name, but he says, "Do you have a favorite Sasquatch story that you've read on the channel?" And so far, I don't necessarily have a like super favorite, but the one by Patricia, and I've said this before, partly because she was getting along in years and she was able to convey a really, really good story in just a real short format. And it's I can't even remember what video it is, but there's one, and it was not action packed, or Bigfoot didn't attack anybody or anything like that, but it was just there was something about the visuals that I got in that story that they just stick in my mind. I don't know. Steph says her nephew's name is Cameron. They call him Cam. Cool. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I have heard about that for years, and no, I've never read it or listened to it, but I need to. I really need to. Matter of fact, I may try to find that audiobook this week to listen to this week. Melvin, yes, Encountering Bigfoot. That's another channel I love. That little kid that narrates those stories, he does a great job. Yeah, the bull story, Lulu, that was a great story. Mark, he's talking about the Cam and his Harley. Camming and Loban. I could probably sit here and just shoot the bull all night, but I'm going to let y'all go. Thank you all for the nice comments. I said this at the beginning. Yeah, lady in Kentucky, that's the story where the big feet are walking through the cornfield. Can you just see that? It's a full moon. She can see them coming. They're coming. They have problems with the dog and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's it. Okay, so thank you all for coming in tonight. Hour and 15 minutes. Man, did that time fly. But I wanted to say thank you for all the nice comments. I said this before. We're just a strange little group of people who are probably vastly different across the spectrum, who just have one little interest that takes up 30 minutes a week to listen to a few weird stories about things that we can't explain. That's all we do here. We're not here to prove any evidence or prove the existence of anything. We don't care what you think about Bigfoot or what you don't think about Bigfoot. We don't care if your opinion is that Bigfoot is a paranormal being or a flesh and blood animal. It doesn't matter. What you think is okay, because nobody really knows. There's no judgments here. Nobody criticizes stories. If they do in the comments, I light them up and I ask them to go away. Go away. Just There was a lady that commented today. She was all tore up because we had 5 kids that I let write stories. I've got over 250 stories on this channel. I think 9 of the stories are fictional. And whenever they're fiction, I tell you they're fiction. And she's just all tore up about it. She was giving me all this advice on what it would be wise to do. And people are going to be leaving and all of this stuff. And, you know, some guy could get on and call me a-hole. And that doesn't bother me. But why in the world can somebody not sit through a 5-minute story that a little kid wrote without leaving a dumbass comment like that? I just don't get it. To save my life, I'll never understand it. And I light those people up every time because I want them to go away. And usually they get all offended and they're all bent out of shape about whatever. I can't believe you said that. Well, I can't believe you left that stupid comment. So I don't want to get negative here on the end, but that's the only type of comment that really gets under my skin. It really is. And I just would like those people to go away. I don't want you listening to the videos if you're going to be that way. I prefer it if you just went away. But so yeah, we just have the nicest people who comment, and it's a group of people that it's just everybody's nice to each other, and it's awesome. And I just never expected this kind of experience with a YouTube channel. I never expected it would happen. But okay, I'm going to end with that. Thank you all again. This live thing is fun. I might do it once a month. Maybe if I can plan one, I'll announce it ahead of time. But it's not, these aren't that big of a deal. It's just kind of something for me to do. These are for me because my wife's out of town. You know what I'd be doing if I was in there? I'd be eating ice cream. And look, I don't need any ice cream. And so this is, y'all are helping me lose weight. How about that? All right, we're going to end it now. You guys have a great weekend. It's Friday night, I think. No, it's Saturday. I worked all day, so it feels like Friday. But Saturday night, y'all have a good weekend. Go watch some TV. Fix you a bowl of spaghetti or something like that, and have a good night. All right, we'll see you on the next video. Thank you. See if I can figure out how to end this. See you guys later. Bye.